I'm David Preston. I went to college.
Hold on to me as we go.
The great thing about university life is that you learn something literally new from every conversation you have. The people in the dorms, the clubs that you join, the sports, even if it's just casually working out at the rec center. Everybody there is there for learning, and everybody there has a background and a life story that is different. And so, gosh, I think probably most of my learning at the university was not in the classroom. It was thinking about what I learned in the classroom with the people in my community. If I chose not to go to college, I would probably be a foreign correspondent someplace, writing from some war or some business, or traveling and writing and trying to get paid for it. When I went to college, I got a UCLA alumni scholarship, and I got a Regents scholarship, and a couple of small merit-based scholarships like the community stuff that you guys have been applying for. And I also took 3 jobs while I was there. So I was an RA in the dorms. Actually, I wasn't an RA, that sounds too glamorous. I was a security guard at Hedrick Hall at UCLA. So I checked people's IDs at night and that kind of stuff. And then I also worked as a TA for one of my professors. And I got a job teaching at a local elementary school, like a teacher assistant. And so I graduated, I think I put part of the last quarter's fees on a credit card, but I graduated with about $1,000 in debt that I paid off that year. And that's how I dealt with college debt. Because I knew that college debt, unlike a mortgage or a car loan, you can't ever walk away from that. If you don't pay it, you're on the hook for it. Well, one negative aspect is for a lot of people who don't understand how financial aid works, it does put you into debt. And so it's a hard thing, because on the one hand we tell you about school to work and how important college is for employment, and it is. People who go to college are much better off financially on average than people who don't. The problem though is that a lot of people don't think how they're going to pay for college, and they don't really get the idea that if they're going to college that they should have some economic plan, because they're about to take on a big obligation that is going to take them a while to pay off. And I think that for a lot of us, you know, there's the question of what do I want to do, and then there's the question of what do I have to do. Well, you should really be starting college with what do you want to do. You know, you haven't been able to explore and really set your own curriculum in K through 12. So this should be the time that you're exploring different classes and learning about yourself and where you really fit. It shouldn't be a time to already start with your job and debt and worrying about all the things that, you know, I have to worry about at 43. So I'm a little concerned in what I see around how people are preparing for college now. Even community college, which was the place where you could go take any class under the sun, now you have to take a test and it puts you on a track. Well, what's beyond that track, you don't get to see over the boundaries unless you're just going to class for free and not getting a grade for it. So my concern is that people lock themselves in, and then they get older in life when they have kids or they have debt, or just they're too busy to really reinvent themselves, and then they never really got the chance to explore. That was actually the best advice. When I went to UCLA, I had an orientation leader named Chip Anderson. He was a professor in the School of Education. And he said there are 2 ways to go to college. One way is to know what you want and to use college as a way to get there. And I had friends who were like that. I even thought that I was like that. From an early age, I wanted to go to law school, I thought. But the other thing he said was that college is a place to discover yourself and to try new things and to figure it out. Kind of like what you've heard me do in this class, which is, well, explore something that you were just curious about or passionate about and see where that leads you. And the best part of my college experience was realizing that I should think about more possibilities before I made those kinds of big-time decisions. So my best advice that I received was really forget what you think you knew coming in. You learned how to play a game very successfully, or you wouldn't have gotten this far. But that was that game. College is a different game. And if you play it the same way you played high school, you'll get the grades and you'll succeed in a way. But how much of yourself did you really become through your studies in high school? You have an opportunity at the university to think about whatever you want, take the classes that you really want to. So I wound up majoring in communication studies because of that, because communication studies gave me the chance to take courses from different majors around campus. So in a way, it was making a decision that allowed me to still be flexible in my thinking. Well, I mentioned I went to law school for one day, and then left. And since then, let's see. In a way, you could say I've always been in the light bulb business. I've always been in the idea business in one way or another. So, yeah, I wrote for the LA Times. Well, that's sharing ideas. I wrote books. Well, sharing ideas. I taught in elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, colleges and universities, sharing ideas. Consulted with businesses. Again, basically, I like spending time with people who are thoughtful and who are trying to figure things out. Now, that can be how to prepare for an AP exam. It can be how to create a business. It can be how to solve a world's problem. But even this is what I do.
Okay.
And my newest client is 4 years old. My daughter's, my newest customer. So